folks, welcome back to the series on building stress resiliency. My name is Jamie Sable and I'm a registered psychotherapist working in downtown Toronto. For the last few videos, we've been talking about specific tools and techniques addressing cognitive behavioral therapy. More specifically, we've been talking about the common thinking errors that people engage in that keep us locked in a negative mood or an experience of stress or anxiety. So we've been talking about how to build awareness around those specific types of thinking errors that we engage in, as well as how to work through them so that you can replace those negative irrational thoughts with more healthy, adaptive, positive thinking. So in this last video on common thinking errors, I want to talk about making predictions. Here's what this really looks like. This is when you say to yourself, if this happens, then that will happen. That is making a prediction. So for example, if I go out for dinner with girlfriends, I am going to have a drink. So it is really making a prediction, and maybe that is, based on previous behavior that leads you to sort of go down that path, or because, your other girlfriends are drinking. But in this example, what we really want to do is look for the exception. Look for the exception where, you went out with girlfriends and you didn't have a drink. Because what that does is that says that you actually have the capacity to go out with girlfriends for dinner and not have a drink. And it starts to sort of rejig that mentality that, well, maybe I am capable. And then when you start actually gathering evidence of maybe the 50% of the time that you have gone out for dinner and you haven't had a drink, or even maybe, surprisingly 75% of the time, all of a sudden your brain starts to go, well, wait a second, that's actually completely, crazy, for lack of a better word, for me to say that, like, I'm going to have a drink when 75% of the time I haven't. So with making predictions, you really want to look at the exception. Find the exception, because again, our brains can sort of, trick us into thinking in a really negative way. Especially right now when fear is so high and stress and anxiety is so high, our minds can play tricks on us, and we want to make sure that, we are not letting that sort of monkey brain take us down. And so how do we do that? We exercise that rational, that adaptive part of our brain that says, hold on, I hear you, but actually look at the evidence, or look at all the times that you went out and you didn't have a drink, or look at all the times that you spoke up at work and, despite your fear, and it was okay. Or look at all the times that you worked through a conflict with your partner and it turned out okay, right? So with making predictions, we're really talking about looking for the exception. So pull out that thought record, look for the evidence. If you get stuck, I'm going to be right here, and give it a go. Okay? The more that we can exercise that rational brain, you'll be able to catch yourself much sooner when you're engaging in that common thinking error, and be able to pull yourself out of it. But again, if you get stuck, shoot me an email and I'll walk through the process with you. Okay? So that's all for today. Until then, until tomorrow, please stay safe, take care of one another, stay healthy, and stay kind.